Raptors Central, where we'll be talking about 2021 Toronto Raptors draft selections and basically going in depth with the selection that they made and talking about them a little bit. So without further ado, let's go right into this video. I'll be going a bit more in depth about what you will be seeing on this YouTube channel in another video, but let's just talk about the 2021 Toronto Raptors draft selections, which is today's topic, which takes us to the Raptors' first selection in this draft, Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes was selected 4th overall by the Toronto Raptors, and let's make this clear, this was a pretty good pick for these Toronto Raptors. Obviously, a lot of people might not like it, as he was not the preferred pick over Jalen Suggs. When you were watching the draft, the reporters were saying a whole entire in-depth explanation about Jalen Suggs, because they really thought the Raptors will for sure take Jalen Suggs, and there was no possibility that Barnes was going to be taken. But indeed, the Raptors made the huge upset and took Scottie Barnes. At first, a lot of Raptors fans were mad, they disagreed, even I disagreed, but after looking at him a bit more, he fits into this team perfectly. Now, before we get into a lot of the more in-depth situation, looking at Scottie Barnes, you can see he's a very energetic person. He loves to work, and he fits into this team perfectly. He loves the Raptors player development, and the main reason that he was picked was because he fit into the team so well, and they liked him so much in the tryout. As in a later interview before he got drafted, he said that he really preferred the Raptors, as he loved the Raptors player development. And to add on, he's kind of true. The Raptors player development is wonderful, and any player would like to be a part of that development and would love to become a great player, just like a lot of these other players that the Raptors have turned into stars. Anyways, continuing, looking at Barnes, you can see once again he's a very energetic person. He loves to work, he puts in the work, and he really is one of those players that could win you championships. Looking at his play style, he is 6'9". He could play every single position, but he played point guard in college. He played 1 year in Florida State, and he was the 6th man of that team. He won 6th man of the year in that year, and he played amazing defense. His defensive aspect of his game is wonderful. He's a great shot blocker. He can get rebounds, and he has a really high IQ. He locks down players, and I personally think he's an amazing player to have in a finals or in big moments where you put him on the most important man. He locks that player up, and he gets you the important stops. So overall, his defensive aspect is wonderful. I really like him defensively, and going into his offensive aspect, that's where it gets a little bit disappointing. See, he had 10.3 points per game, which you would say, well, that's not that bad. That's actually pretty good. He was horrible from the field, 3-point shooting. I think he had like a 23% 3-point shooting. That was obviously not the best. He struggled with his shot a lot. He almost couldn't do anything offensively. It just looked like but when he went on the offensive aspect of the game, he was lost, and that was a huge problem. And I think another player who saw kind of Anyways, continuing, I think that he could work on it because he has an amazing jump shot. Scottie Barnes' jump shot looks amazing. I think that if he just works on his game, he takes more high quality shots. He works on his coverage and those kind of things a bit more. I think he'll be an amazing offensive player. Continuing overall, Scottie Barnes, I would rate him a I don't know. I think I'll give him a A- pick. I feel like he was a good selection by the Toronto Raptors. Some could say he was a B+, but I say A- because he fits into the team, and the Raptors took the player that they felt the most comfortable with, which is not the best player left on the board, which a lot of teams usually don't do. And for a team that's smart, for a team that believes in their player development, I think that this is the best decision. Jalen Suggs versus Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes is more of the raw player. Jalen Suggs goes into the first year, Jalen Suggs is going to do better. He's going to be better than Scottie Barnes in most aspects of the game. Scottie Barnes is going to do good for in the first year. 2 or 3 years after that, I believe Scottie Barnes could turn better than Jalen Suggs, and he could really help these Toronto Raptors out. He could go big in big moments, as once again you can see in that clip. He has a really good jump shot. It's just he can't bank threes. Anyways, if he works on his offensive aspect, which is not hard. I mean, once again, you saw OG Anunoby. The man was horrible from deep shooting overall in college, but he turned pretty good. And looking at other players, Pascal Siakam was horrible. I mean, if you look at his college clips, you'll be like, damn, is that Siakam? He did not know how to do good offensively. I mean, still he has some problems from deep, but you really should trust these Raptors player development. And with the new coaches' hirings, I feel like they will be wonderful. And I mean, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, Siakam, OG Anunoby. The list goes on with players that the Raptors chose from deep in the draft and made such good players. Malachi Flynn could even turn into a great player, you could really say. So overall, I give this pick an A- because the Raptors trusted in their player development. Scottie Barnes is an amazing defensive player. I feel like he could develop into a good star. He has the ethic to work. He wants to win, and he has a great mentality on the field. He has a good IQ. He makes his teammates better. He wants to work with people, and those are some of the big reasons why I feel like he was a great pickup at the NBA draft. The Toronto Raptors selected Dalano Banton, a player from Toronto, which I once again was at first question because Cooper and Boston were on the clock, and they decided to take on the board, and they decided to take Banton. Was it a good selection? At first I did disagree, but after a while, once again, another prospect which I am starting to think is pretty good. So Dalano Banton is I think 6'9" or 6 foot. I don't know his height exactly. Player who played in Nebraska. He averages 9.6 points. He led the Nebraska Huskies in rebounds and assists, and he was actually like top 15 in assists, I'm pretty sure, as well in the Big Ten, which is wonderful, especially in a school like the Nebraska Huskies. Well, he has really good length, and he doesn't have the greatest shooting. He shot 41% from the field, which was decent, and his length is really the main part of his game. He really is able to get steals. He has an amazing wingspan. His height is wonderful, and that really makes him a good, powerful player who could go into the paint and score easily. Once again, if he's another player who is amazing defensively, he gets block shots, he could get rebounds, he's a good playmaker, he could get good quality defensive stops, and on the other end, he could also use his length to his advantage if he goes into the Raptors player development and he works from deep and he works from mid-range. I feel like he will be a pretty good player for the Raptors. Now, he is currently the reason that the Raptors drafted it, I'm guessing, is because they needed some depth players to help them out. They needed role players, and I think Banton could do that in the first year. Once again, he's going to go through that player development. Don't expect him to get too many minutes in this first year, but overall, I think he's a good selection. Do I still think Cooper would have been a better choice? Yes, but he is Toronto born. I think that is one of the main things that you should look at, and I think that he is going to be pretty good fit for the players in the locker room. I think that he might work well in the future. As you can see right here, he's really good at getting steals, and if he's this good in high school, I mean, not this good, but if he's good in high school and he has the opportunity to go through the best player development in the league, he could really be a good player. And I once again, I love this pick. I don't love this pick. It was a good pick, but overall, we could see what he could do. I don't have too much to say. I rate this pick a B+. Once again, I feel like Cooper was a better choice than him, but once again, Masai Ujiri knows what he's doing. I think that he has enough players that he's drafted which have turned into stars that he doesn't need to prove to anybody anything, and I think he's a good pickup. He knows the Raptors culture. He was a Raptors fan as a kid, I'm guessing, because he's from Toronto, and he has good, an amazing wingspan, amazing height, something that these Raptors lack, and he could fit into the bench perfectly, and the Raptors need bench players, as the Raptors bench was horrendous this year. So overall, B+ selection is Banton at 40. David Johnson, which in my opinion was one of the best picks in this draft in the second round. I love David Johnson's play. As I watched his clips, obviously I didn't watch him in college, but when I watched his gameplay, I was like, damn, this guy's pretty good. So he played it for Louisville College and the Louisville Cardinals, and he averaged 12.6 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, and 3.2 assists. The stat line is wonderful. I think in college, if you're putting up 12.6, 5.8, and 3.2, you got to be pretty proud of yourself. And just when you thought that was good enough, you can see his play. He is wonderful. He is 6'5", and he is a guard. He will most likely play. He will play shooting guard for you, and another player who you can put in your depth. He could play player. He could join a player development, work in there, and he's a perfect fit for this team. I feel like once again the Raptors were going for more tall, powerful players, and all three are exactly that. So David Johnson loves to go into the paint. He loves to get layups. He loves to push in. He is a good defender, not wonderful. He's a good defender, but damn, is he a good playmaker. He's got good vision. He's got great court vision. He could get a lot of good passes, and for a 6'5" player in college, 5.8 rebounds is actually pretty good. He is a great fit for this team. Obviously, I don't have too much information on him because he's the 47th pick. I couldn't get like a lot of information to see if he's amazing. But from what I see, I feel like he'll be a perfect fit for this team's depth. I think he will be on the bench for the whole entire year, obviously, but he is an amazing player in the 47th pick. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was supposed to go 38. I mean, he wasn't supposed to go 38, but on the big like what draft board thing that they make of like where they predict where players go, he was supposed to go like 38. Raptors get him at 47, so he falls to the Raptors, and he's a passionate player. He likes to play the game. I feel like he will put in the work, and he's going to be joining an amazing player development, like we said earlier. There's not too much to say about him, once again, because I don't know too much about him, so I wouldn't stretch it for too long. But I think he's a great fit for these Raptors, and I think he'll do a great job with us. Selection by the Toronto Raptors, but he was actually undrafted, Justin Champagnie. I don't know. I'll just call him Justin because I can't pronounce his last name. He is coming out of Pitt, which I'm pretty sure is Pittsburgh's college. I'm not too sure about that. But he comes out of there as a center or a power forward. He was a very good player statistically for those Pits. He averaged 18 points, 11.1 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. And when I watched his gameplay, I was like, damn, this guy is good. He put up 31 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks against Duke University. I don't know how he went undrafted from the stats. There has to be something about him that made him go undrafted, but I don't know what it is. Once again, I don't know too much about him because he wasn't even selected. He was undrafted, but he comes onto the Raptors with a 2-way contract, so that basically means that he's going to be getting $80K, and he will be going up and down from the NBA Toronto Raptors to the G League team with the 905 Raptors, and which is most likely he'll start in the 905 Raptors. But man, this is one of those guys that makes you want to watch these 905 Raptors. He's so fun to watch. He's probably one of the funnest players I've watched in a while. I'm speechless of how he fell undrafted. That's the reason that he went undrafted, but if he doesn't turn into at least role player, I'll be stunned, because he has pretty good court vision. He gets good passes. He grabs rebounds, and he's almost a king in the paint. He's unstoppable in the paint, and it's like almost every time he goes in there, he finds a way. Obviously he finds a way to score because it's highlights, but it feels like he's not even trying, and he's taking on great colleges as well. I mean, he took on Duke. He took on this. Is Miami a good college? I don't know if it's actually a good college, but he took on So Pittsburgh. He took on Syracuse. I don't know. What am I saying? I don't even know what the college is. He took on. I'm acting like I watched his gameplay, but Overall, his statistics show that he's a great player. He's amazing in the paint. He looks like he has good court vision. He is a not versatile actually, but he's a good player on the defensive aspect. He has 1.3 blocks. He gets steals. He shuts down the paint on the defensive aspect. Everything about him is good, and I like that. And I feel like he'll be a great player for this Toronto Raptors team. It's most likely he will play most of this season, and I'm probably all of the season in 905. But next year, if he does have a chance to come into the big leagues, you could see some good things happening. You could also watch the Toronto Raptors preseason, and he'll probably be playing there as well. Maybe he'll get a chance there to show what he's got. But he was a great pickup being undrafted, and I rate this pickup an A plus, or maybe an A. I'll give it an A plus. I have to give it an A plus. There's no reason why I would give it anything lower. He is a great defensive player. He is good offensively. He put up great stats. He put great stats against teams like Duke. He has a great job. He does a great job offensively and defensively in the paint. He has great rebounds per game, great blocks per game, and he gets points. I mean, what else do you want? 18 points and 11.1 rebounds in college is insane, okay? I don't know. I'm these highlights you watch of him, he's terrific. I am really excited to see what he could do, so I give this pick an A plus. So without further ado, we're going to go over the final three and just go overall. So with the fourth pick, the Toronto Raptors selected Scottie Barnes. Great defensive player, has high IQ, is going to be a great piece of his player development. Not the best offensive player, has a good jump shot, but does not have the best field percentage. He needs to work on that. He is a good rebounder and he could get passes. He is a great part of the locker room. He's an exciting player who wants to win. I rated that pick an A minus. With the 46th pick, the Toronto Raptors selected Banton. He has a really long wingspan. He has a great height. He is a great defensive player. Not the best actually good offensive player. He was 41%. He has a pretty good jump shot like the other ones. He shoots threes every now and then. And he is from Toronto, so he will be a good fit. He's a good desk player. He'll be playing bench for these Raptors most likely, and he'll be doing a good job for that bench. With the 47th pick, the Raptors selected Johnson. Johnson is a 6'5" guard. He does have a great shooting. He had 12 points for the Louisville Cardinals, and he was good defensively, and he was great offensively. He will be probably getting limited minutes, but once again, one of those players where you should watch preseason and see what he could do. Forgot to say, for Banton, I rate him a B plus selection because I did believe that Cooper was a better signing than him, and I feel like that maybe, just maybe, Boston could have also been a better selection, but once again, I trust Masai with everything. Then with Johnson, I think I forgot to say what my rating for him, but I rate him another B plus, maybe A minus, but I'll give him a B plus again. He's almost an A minus, but I give him a B plus, truly because I give him a B plus. I think he fell from 38 to 47, which is one of those things. For Banton, I would maybe give him a B. I don't know. Banton, like that B plus B selection. I don't know if he was the greatest selection there, but he gets the high because of that wingspan. I think he'll be a great player to develop. Anyways, continuing with Johnson, he was a B plus. Johnson is once again great offensively. He works well defensively. Anyways, with our undrafted selection, Justin Champagnie, I have to give him an A plus. He was a great pickup. I mean, he's once undrafted, so it doesn't even matter. He wasn't a selection, so he has great points per game. He has great rebounds per game. You're putting him as a two-way player, so you could put him in the G League and put him in the NBA whenever you want. You have the rights for him. You're paying him $80K. He had tremendous stats, and you can see these highlights. He is a terrific player in the paint, offensively and defensively. He could get steals. He gets 1.3 blocks per game. He gets rebounds. He gets points. Everything the Raptors currently needed, a big man who could do that. And I think it'll be a great fit. So yeah, without further ado, that explains the draft for the Toronto Raptors for this 2021 draft. I overall, like, taking everything together, adding everything up, I give these Raptors a B plus in this draft because you're adding to like the 8. I won't count Justin because he wasn't even chosen. and his name's not even Champagne, so I'm sorry I keep calling him Champagnie, I think it is. I don't know. Anyways, because Banton was almost like a slight B plus B, Johnson was a B plus pick, and Barnes was A minus. Adding all those up, it's like most likely like B plus, A minus. Obviously, this will probably change in the future when you actually get to see what he could do. What these guys could do. I think at the end of the season, you might see this draft class for these Raptors being an A, because I feel like Banton, Johnson, Barnes, putting them into player development, they could turn into great players. And these were just all good picks for these Raptors. So yeah, B plus is what I'm giving them, because they got the depth players which they needed. They needed a guard, which they kind of got, I guess, in Johnson and Banton. I wish they got someone that was really good at shooting, but they didn't get that exactly, because I don't think we have a great 3-point shooter currently. Like, Freddie's very inconsistent. Someone else that I can say, Malachi Flynn's also not the greatest from the deep, but I don't know. Maybe one of these players turn into wonderful things. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next episode, we're probably going to go over the free agent cities, Toronto Raptors. This is moves that they made, as a lot of things has happened there, and then we're going to have a bit of the explanation about our first ever introduction about our YouTube channel, because I haven't even done that yet. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Thank you.